Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gold Seal Certification webinar. My name is Chanel Roberts. I'm the manager for the Education and Gold Seal program here at CCA. Just before we get started, we're just going to bring your attention to a couple of things. You will be able to type in your questions for this webinar in the question box. So if you take a look on your right-hand side, you'll see a question section where you can type in your question. And at the end of the webinar, I'll address as many questions as I can. So if you do have to leave at any given time, this will be recorded. So this webinar is being recorded presently and will be available on our YouTube channel within 24 hours. We also will have a link at the bottom of our Gold Seal exam page as well on our website. So if ever you wanted to review it once again at your leisure, then you can do so. So I will get started at this time. Thank you so much for those for joining. And what we'll go through today is a little bit about the program and how to get you started on your journey. So what I'll do is I'll get started now. And again, for those that just joined, we will ask questions. You can ask questions in the question box and we'll address them at the end of the presentation. Okay, so what we're going to look at today is the certification program in its entirety and why you should get certified. We'll review the designations and the occupational profiles. We'll also review the process and the requirements for your applications, what the exam is about, a few resources, and some upcoming exam dates. So when we talk about Gold Seal, it's referred to as the industry stamp of approval. So basically, it is the certification program that's recognized in Canada as the industry standard. And this is the industry standard for certification of construction management professionals, such as yourselves. So this is a construction management program only. And what we're looking for when we look for applications and when you're starting on your journey for Gold Seal is that you are the best of the best in your role. You would be part of now more than 11,000 Gold Seal certified professionals. And you're looking to better yourself with your professional development, your educational development, and looking to just increase that extra drive in your role. So a couple of Gold Seal success stories I wanted to share with you. Now, these are also on our website, and there are many, many more. And I would encourage you actually to go through some, especially the ones in your designation, as it'll give you some insight and, kind of give you an idea of what life is like after you get your Gold Seal. So I'll share a couple quotes with you, because it kind of opens your eyes a little bit to how industry professionals are viewed and taken, in terms of professionalism, that kind of thing, once they get their Gold Seal. So we have Mike Love at the top here. He is a superintendent. And he said that getting his Gold Seal certification provided a path to better developing the qualities he needed to be a better leader. Himanshu on the side here says that he feels more motivated to keep performing at a high standard, and that he feels that his certification is a benefit not only for himself, but for his employer. And that's a good point to take away as well, is as the years progress and as we promote Gold Seal more and more every year, we're seeing that a lot of employers are actually going for new employees that are Gold Seal certified already. So some of the candidates that come forward, they are required to get their Gold Seal, or maybe they need their Gold Seal to bid on a job. There's lots of characteristics there that employers take very seriously, and most of the time employers really value those that are Gold Seal certified. So then we have some project managers here that say that it proves that you're committed and dedicated to your profession, or that you're always looking to bring yourself to the next level. Having Gold Seal certification to back me and my company up makes extremely valuable in this market. So take a look at our website under applicants, and you'll see Gold Seal success stories, and just read through some. They are articles. They're not just quotes like these, but they are articles that are featuring these individuals. And then once people get their Gold Seal, we also ask them to fill out a survey, that allows us to help increase the number of Gold Seal success stories that we have, bring in some new success stories as well, and it allows you to provide your feedback on the whole program. So now we're going to go through the program itself. There are technically 3 tiers to this program. So you can come in as an intern for the program at the very beginning, and interns are specifically for those that have at least 1 year of experience. So if you have less than 5 years experience, this is something for you to consider. It also indicates that you are on your way to obtaining your Gold Seal certification. So when you get certified as an intern, you have your certificate, you can use GSI after your name, and it proves to your employer, your clients, your coworkers that you're on your way to get certified. With Gold Seal certified, as long as you have the work experience and the education, you can apply as a GSC. And when you apply as a GSC, you're looking to write the Gold Seal exam in the end. So we're going to go through those requirements in a couple of slides later. And then finally, if you want to continue, either to give back to your industry, develop your skills, you're going to look at the Gold Seal, the P.GSC, the Professional Gold Seal Certified. And that's something that's renewable every 2 years. So it kind of keeps you on your toes. It keeps you going in terms of developing your skills and in your profession as well. And it's the highest certification you could get for Gold Seal. So a few designations, these are the few that we certify. So if you're an estimator, a foreman, owner's construction manager, or project manager, or safety practitioner, superintendent, these are all designations that we certify as Gold Seal. If you don't identify with one of these designations, I'm going to bring you to the occupational profiles next, but it's something that you can read through to identify whether or not you're in a certain designation. Some people wear many hats. So it could be one of you on the call right now, probably identifying with the fact that maybe you do estimating and project management, or you have a dual role. That's where the occupational profiles come in, and where you need to identify what you resonate with more, and what your daily role is more equivalent to. So with the occupational profiles, what they are is that they identify the core competencies. So this is the standard for each designation and each scope of the job. So it identifies the skills as well for each designation. So everyone in each designation should have these competencies and skills, and it's regardless of field or size or location, company. It depends on what your scope and skills are of your designation. So it's really important to read through these, and you'll see once you click on one of the occupational profiles that you'll identify with different sections of the profile, which are actually sections that are going to be on the exam. So I'll take you through one in a second here. So when you review a profile for your designation, what you have to do is define the areas of development, define the areas that you are familiar with, that you may do from day to day. There are certain competencies that maybe you don't have, or you are, not quite familiar with. This is where you can identify those and take further training. You could discuss with your coworkers, your peers, and even do some research on those competencies. So the occupational profile is actually meant to serve as a guide. So it's for those that are looking to apply, such as yourselves. Read through the occupational profile before you submit your application, but also it's a preparation exam for the exam. So it's something that we suggest to those that are preparing for the exam to read through once again. So when we look at one of these profiles, which is found on our website here, if you scroll down to the middle, you'll see all of the profiles that are available here. So I'll just click on Project Manager for an idea. Basically, what you're seeing are all the sections of this designation. So we classify them as, under business skills, you have your competency and the skills, the knowledge, or the task. You have tendering process as well. So you can look up the competency, identify with it. These are the skills and the knowledge and the tasks that we're identifying with that competency. And you have project management as a section. So all of these sections are also on the exam. So the way that the exam is broken down is per section of the competency, of the designation. So this is what the occupational profile looks like. You could definitely print it. It's a PDF. It's available to you anytime. Okay, so I'm just going to take you back here. Oops. So I'm going to walk you through the process and the touch points basically and how it works. So as I mentioned a couple slides ago, is that you can come in as an intern. Oftentimes, when you don't have the 5 years experience, you'll be able to, register as an intern. And what you do is you submit your application online, it comes to us for review, and then we approve you as an intern. You get a statement by email, you get the credits that were allocated to your application, and a little bit more information on how to obtain your credits going forward. Now, interns get 5 years to meet their requirements. So even if you don't need the full 5 years, you can definitely submit the remaining information required to meet the Gold Seal certified requirements. But you can, whether it's 1 year or 5 years, you can take that time to obtain all the requirements needed. So once you do meet those requirements as a Gold Seal intern, you would then submit a new application for your Gold Seal certified. And so here is where you've already met, or you think you meet the requirements, the 100 credits, and you can now submit your application for the GSC and consideration to write the exam. It would come to us for review. We usually review these weekly, so between 1 to 2 weeks is when you would get your results. And there's a couple of situations that could happen. So you could either be approved, or if you don't quite meet the GSC requirements, we would still keep you as a GSI. But then I let you know that you do need this, this, and this. So we would identify what you would need in terms of your missing requirements, help you out there, and that way you would have another chance to meet those requirements. So either you have to get additional training, or perhaps you need 1 more year of experience, that kind of thing. So when you, so this is the situation when you apply as an intern. If you are applying directly first time as a GSC, because you have your 5 years experience and possibly all the training, it would be essentially starting at level 2 here. So again, if you do not meet the requirements, what we do is we approve you as a GSI, an intern, as an intermediary step. So that gives you the chance to still be in the program, be a GSI, working towards your GSC, but we provide you with the opportunity to obtain the credits that are required. If you do meet the requirements, you've been approved to select an exam date. So at this time, you would be able, in the statement email that we provide you, we give you a link to the exam form, you choose your exam date, and then you would challenge the exam. If you pass the exam, you've become a GSC. So after that, we provide you with your results within 2 weeks, and you receive your certificate within 4 weeks. And again, becoming a GSC is a prerequisite for becoming a P.GSC, a professional Gold Seal certified. We'll go over that in a little bit. If you do fail the exam, there is an opportunity to rewrite the exam, and it's for a fee of $100. There is no limit to rewriting the exam, so even if you fail a couple more times, you can still rewrite. And then what we do is we put you back into the quote unquote approved status, but it's to select a new exam date. So we would be able to provide you with, in your statement, we would provide you with your mark for the exam that you've failed, and then we would provide you with sections that you could work on of the exam and allow you to rebook your exam with the link provided. There is another little situation that may happen as well, is when we're reviewing your Gold Seal certified application, you may be really close to meeting requirements. And what that means is that you're only missing a few credits. So in this case, we do conditionally approve candidates. And what that means is that they can choose their exam date, but they must send in whatever that missing documentation is, those missing credits, whether it's a certificate or a couple of certificates, depending on the number of requirements needed. You would then just submit that to us 1 month before the exam, and we would be able to remove the conditions from your application so that you can write the exam. So that there is an option there. It's especially for those that take courses that are maybe not available right away. So for example, the construction industry ethics course, some local associations are only hosting it in January. The next exam is January 22nd. In this case, we would make exceptions in terms of the time frame to submit documents, but just let us know if that's the case and that you do have to take a course that's only a few weeks before the exam, and then we'll take a look at that and let you know what to do. But that is an option there if you're really close to meeting the requirements. And then of course, the same cycle continues. So you would challenge the exam, pass, become a GSC, or fail and rewrite the exam. So I'm going to take you through the requirements a little bit in more detail. So as a GSI, your Gold Seal Intern, you only need 1 year of Canadian experience. It must be in Canada. That's a note to keep in mind. Or you can have 2 years of experience in an assistance position. So sometimes we see, project manager assistant or junior estimator, that kind of thing. You can have up to 2 years of experience as an assistant. And it's for the GSC application as well. We count up to 2 years only. So that's all you need to become an intern. In addition to that, it's a letter of reference. So what we're looking for is a letter of reference from your current employer, and it must be from your direct supervisor. So before you apply, just make sure you have all your affairs in order and you've asked for your reference letter ahead of time and that it is a recent letter. Okay, one thing to note here at the bottom is the current year will not count for experience until the end of the year. So for example, we have some people that are applying now and they only have 4 years experience, but at the end of 2020, they'll have 5 years experience. So, that's a consideration that we carry over into January. So, those are the types of, little tidbits of information we like you to be aware of. And we do ask in the application that you indicate your current experience. So there will be an area, it's the first section of the application, and it identifies as current role. And that way you'll be able to put in what your current job is. So now we move on to the Gold Seal certified requirements. So this is your GSC. This is the application that will, if approved, bring you to the exam. So we need a total of 100 Gold Seal credits. For foreman, however, it's only 75. So if you are a foreman, it's only a minimum of 75 credits required. So now with project experience, we're looking for here again a letter of reference. What you need again is a minimum of 5 years of experience. 3 is the minimum for foreman. And it must be in the designation that you're applying for. So what that means is that if you are applying as a project manager, Gold Seal certified, your experience must be in project management. If you have, a superintendent year in there or an estimator year in there, that won't count towards the 5 years of experience. Okay, so just make sure that you're identifying your years properly and that they are in that designation. The way we count the years is 10 credits per year. So essentially here we have 50 credits. So you're already at 50 out of the 100 credits required. If you have more experience than 5, so some people have 10, 15 years experience, we do cap the experience credits at 75. So if you have 8 years of experience, put it in the application and we'll cap it at 75. So that's just a little bit of information there for that. For project managers, this is kind of a side note and something that we've experienced in the last year, a couple years, is that we want to make sure that it's clear that for project managers, superintendents, and estimators, that you must be directly employed by a company that is working in either of these disciplines. So general, contracting, trade, electrical, mechanical, or civil. Consultants are also not accepted, but there is an exception for the owner's construction manager designation. So if you're unsure of that and you are applying as an OCM, you can contact us for some guidance, but this is just a little bit of advice here for the consultant part of it. And continuing on to the education and training portion, so what we're looking for here is a minimum of 25 education or training credits, and that includes the mandatory and safety training. So let's say you have your 75 credits in experience, and then you have your minimum 25 training mandatory experience here, you've reached your 100 credits. That's just how easy the calculation can be done. So it's always based on the experience first, and then the remaining credits will come from education or training. Now, let's say you only have 5 years experience, you have your 25 credits in education, now you're up to 75 credits. The remaining 25 credits can come from either experience or education and training. So you could, submit additional certificates from industry-related courses. They could be anything that are industry-related. So that's where the calculation of the credits comes in. And again, just a note here is that the remaining 25 credits is not applicable to foremen. So once the foremen have their years of experience and their 25 credits for education and training, then you're good to go. A little bit about P.GSC. So what we look for here is at least working 2,000 hours in the designation that you were certified for as a GSC. So once again, you have to be a GSC to apply as a P.GSC. It's a prerequisite. And you can apply immediately after getting your GSC. Okay, because you do have those 2 years of experience, you have the 2,000 hours because you've just applied as your GSC, so you can definitely go for it right afterwards. And then for the education and training, it's a little bit different, and the formula and the calculation is a little bit different. So we encourage you to take a look at our website where these are listed. But what we're looking for is a minimum 30 Gold Seal credits in the education, and it's in these categories here. So we look for community contribution as well. You could be teaching courses, be part of a committee that's helping build the industry, that kind of thing. All right. So I wanted to give you a little bit more detail on the mandatory training. This is where sometimes there is a little bit of confusion as to what is required. So overall, all applicants do need the construction industry ethics course. Okay, so that is something that is absolutely mandatory, and there are no substitutions. So you have to take the one that is run by CCA, and it is Gold Seal accredited. So you will be able to get those ethics courses through a local construction association. So even if you're not a member of the associations near where you live, you can definitely still go to them. They'll provide you with pricing and we'll be able to give you the dates that are available for those classes. Now, normally pre-COVID, they were all done in class, but now the associations are running them virtually. And there is also an online component as well that's only a few hours long. So take a look at those, contact your association for some information, and then you can obtain those courses. For foremen, they need specifically Construction 101 and beyond, as well as the Leadership for Safety Excellence course. Now, depending on your province, that Leadership for Safety Excellence course is not necessarily offered. So there is, you know, a little bit of help that we can give you there, or your association can give you, is in terms of obtaining that course. So currently we are researching some ways to have that course available in certain provinces, but most of them do have it. For estimators, PMs, OCMs, and superintendents, we also require 2 more credits from these designation-specific areas. So you'll see the chart here per designation. These are the areas of subject matter, or I guess topics that you can get your courses in. So it doesn't have to be specifically a course called Law and Contracts in the Construction Industry. Those are the topics that are within our national curriculum standard, and that's what we look for. So 2 credits are, the way they're calculated is for every 6 hours of learning, you get 1 Gold Seal credit, and that excludes lunch and breaks. So as long as your course is 6 hours long, in terms of learning, it could be 8 hours long, but maybe there's a couple breaks in there. As long as it's 6 hours long, that will give you 1 credit. So you could do 2 things here. You can either take 1 course that's at least 12 hours long, or you can take 2 different courses under these subject matters. And as long as they're 6 hours long, you'll get your 2 credits there. So there are some equivalencies and sort of reciprocities. There are a couple here that we wanted to make you aware of. So if you have your CIOB, your Chartered Institute of Builders, you will be approved to write the Gold Seal exam as long as you provide 5 years experience and your ethics courses. If you're applying as a safety practitioner, most safety practitioners that apply have their NCSO. So that's something that you definitely want to put on there in terms of proof. And as long as you have your 5 years experience and your ethics courses, you'll be approved to write the exam. For estimators, there's 2 different situations here. So we have, for those that are part of the CIQS, who have their PQS, Professional Quantity Surveyor, credential, you're automatically approved for the certification. So you don't have to write the exam, you don't have to provide years of experience, education, that kind of thing, because we have a certain contract with CIQS. So as long as you can provide your PQS certification, then you'll be approved and you will get your Gold Seal right away. Some estimators have their CEC credential. As long as you have your 5 years experience, then you're approved to write the exam. You do not need your ethics if you are CEC. Okay, so these are a few reciprocities. They are on our website as well if you need to consult them later on. That's something that we wanted to make sure you guys are aware of. There is optional safety training as well. However, there are credit limits for certain designations. Of course, for safety practitioners, there's no limit. But for estimators, foremen, OCMs, and PMs, there is a 5 credit limit for safety training. So again, 1 credit equals 6 hours of learning. So just do your calculation on how many certificates or courses that you've taken in safety. That's how you can base the credits and calculate them. For superintendents, there's a 10 credit limit. And then to give you an idea of what type of safety training we accept, you could provide your first aid, WMIS, working in heights, that kind of safety training is applicable. And there's a lot more, of course. So just, put down whatever you do have and just be cognizant of the credit limit. I did mention already about the ethics courses. So like I said, consult your local construction association about the virtual classes coming up. I believe that most of them are done for the year. However, there may be some that are being done before Christmas, but check in with them as usually they do offer them starting again in January. Okay. Sorry, just checking the questions here. So when we look at the courses in general, there are two things that you can do. You can either go after courses that are industry related, as long as they fall within our national curriculum standard, they're accepted. But you can also take a look at Gold Seal accredited courses. So we have an accreditation program where certain, universities, institutions, local associations get their courses that they teach accredited. So they submit an application online. It's another process specifically for that program. And then we accredit their courses. And those accreditations are good for 5 years. So all of these courses are actually listed on our website, and they are part of the accreditation section. And if you're looking to book that type of course, you just click on the link and it will bring you right to the institution or the course provider that's offering it. Okay, so what this means as well is that when you take a Gold Seal accredited course, we provide those credits automatically. If it's in the if it's in your application as a Gold Seal accredited course, you're providing that certificate, we don't need to count the credits or the hours. So if it's 5 credits, you get the 5 credits. So take a look at that if you're looking to obtain certain number of courses, or if you don't know where to start, it's a good place to start. In the application itself, the way that we ask for you to lay out your training and courses is to include the title of each seminar or workshop or course, and it must be taken in the last 10 years. So please do not submit very old courses, it will not count. So if we're talking 2021 now, anything before 2010 will not be accepted. So it's, or 2011, I should say. So just be cognizant of the certificates that you're submitting. We also ask that you identify the duration of each course, so the number of hours. That helps us to calculate your credits a lot faster. That way, we see the number of hours right in front of us and we can allocate it right away. Some courses don't provide a certificate necessarily, an official certificate. Sometimes they provide a record of attendance. That is okay as well, as long as you submit it as an attachment. So this is what the project experience looks like in a snapshot. This is what I was mentioning earlier, is that we do ask for your current role, your current project. Come 2021, that will say 2021, but just identify your role. So basically if you were a project manager on this project, a little bit about the description, some duties, it doesn't have to be long. And also we ask who the project was for. So that's something that we like you to put in there. It's not very long, so just a few words in there and that's all we're looking for. One thing to note is for residential experience, that Part 9 of the National Building Code does not count. So please be aware of your experience, residential experience, before you're applying. So if you're ready to apply, this is a little bit of a checklist. So you need your letter of reference, all your employment history, your education and training, making sure that you have certificate or record of attendance for each one. And payment is also integrated into that form, is what we ask for at the end. And we accept PayPal and any credit card that's available on that screen when you see it. So there's 2 places you can get the forms from. You can either start right from our website and click on the Get Certified button at the top, or you can go directly to apply.goldsealcertification.com. Where that will bring you is this page here where we offer many links. There's videos that you can look at. I've created some how to apply videos. They're nice and short. You can look at those before you apply. Also the links to the applications directly. And it also provides you the information for each application. This is also available, this information is also available on the how to apply page as well, which is on our website. So I do encourage you to explore our website first to make sure you get all the information you can in there and read through a few of our documents, just to get some of your questions answered, because there is quite a bit of guidance in there. We used to have a portal. It was closed this past April. So if one of you on the call today, it happens to be an applicant that started an application in that portal, there are steps to take there. But normally those applicants we contact directly. So, but the information is there in case you were wondering. So the application costs, it's $125 plus tax for the GSI, for the intern application. And then once you meet those requirements, you will need to apply as a GSC, and then that fee is an additional $525, and that includes the exam. So just be aware of how many years of experience you have before applying as a GSI, because if you're really close with the requirements, we would suggest that you go right into the GSC application, and then we could approve you as an intern as an intermediary step, and you would save the $125 there, but that's just a little bit of advice. And as well, just remember that application fees are non-refundable. So if you decide that you don't want to pursue your Gold Seal anymore, unfortunately, we cannot give you a refund on that. A little bit about the exam. It is experience-based. So oftentimes we get the question, is there a study guide? Is there anything that I can look at in terms of preparing for the exam? The one thing we have to keep in mind is that this exam is strictly experience-based. There are sections of the exam where, you might have taken a course like ethics, and you can review your ethics information, course information and books and whatnot. But there is no specific guide on studying for the exam. What we suggest is to, again, read through the occupational profile. And there's a couple of other tips that I'll provide to you in the next slide as well. We do also have an exam prep webinar that we hold 1 month before the exam. For the January exam, it's next week on the 18th. And then after that, the next exam date is April, so we'll hold it in March. One thing that's, I guess, good that came out of COVID is that we are having everybody write the exams from their homes or their offices. So that's a little bit more convenient for everybody. Originally they were, and for the past however many years that Gold Seal's been around, it's more than 25 now. But recently, up until COVID, we were hosting them at the local associations. So you would write them in person, bring your laptop kind of thing and write them there. However, you don't need to worry about that right now. For the next couple of exams, we're foreseeing the next year is actually going to be written online. So that's just an FYI, that's how we administer the exams at the moment. It is an entirely multiple choice exam. And these are recently revised questions. So they're brand new or either revised from previous questions, but they've been done over the last 1.5 years through working groups with industry professionals such as yourselves. So they've been written by the industry for the industry, and that's one of our values for CCA. We're looking for a mark of at least 75%. So anything above that, you would pass and get your Gold Seal. All right. So a couple resources here. I just wanted to bring your attention to the Gold Seal Certification Guide. This is a very important document that I suggest you read first. If you're going to go through our website, definitely click on this link first. This brings you through all of the subjects of Gold Seal, everything I've gone through with you, but also in more detail. So please read through that. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, when you go to our website, under applicants here, you'll see all of these pages. Those are very good resources for you to read through, and I suggest you start there. All right. In terms of course providers, where I was mentioning accredited training, when you click on this page, you're able to see all of our training courses that are accredited. Okay, and it also provides you with how many credits they are. Okay. So that's a little bit of information there for you guys. The upcoming exams, as I mentioned, January 22nd, then April 23rd. We've added a new exam date, which is June 25th. And then the last exam of the year is October 22nd. So these deadlines that you see here are 6 weeks before the exam. So we do need all applications in by these deadlines. So I'll go to questions now and see what we have here, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. Oops, I want to keep that page open for you. Oops, sorry. There we go. So I just want to keep that page open for you. You can mark down our website and our email. The best way to reach us is by email because we have a team that's constantly monitoring the emails every day. It's the best way to reach us, for somebody to get back to you very soon. So I'm going to go through a couple questions here and start at the beginning. So somebody here says, I am short of points in the education criteria. Can I cover it up with work experience as I have 10 years experience? Am I also able to take courses from other categories, even though I'm applying on the project manager? Yes, so definitely that's what I had mentioned earlier, is that if you have a remaining 25 credits required that you're just missing out of the 100, that can come from education, training, or experience. So if you have 10 years experience, put in 8 and we will cap that experience at 75, but at least you'll get 75 credits for experience. And yes, you can, as long as it's industry related, the courses, you can definitely take, other courses in different categories, but as long as they're industry related, construction industry related. One other question here is, I am a new PR who has construction management experience outside of Canada. I have a degree in civil engineering. What path do I take? So you do need to have at least 1 year of experience in Canada to be an intern. If you want to apply as a GSC, as I mentioned earlier, it must be, that's a little bit different, and you do need 3 years of experience in Canada. So that's something that you need to identify first before applying. And the civil engineering degree, it will give you a certain number of credits. We have in our Gold Seal certification guide that I brought you guys to earlier, there is a section on page 7 that allows you to view all the credits that we associate with certain degrees and diplomas. All right. Is there a reciprocity with APEGA for owner's construction management or PMI? No, there isn't. Unfortunately, we don't have reciprocities for those. So not with PMI or PEng or PMP. What are the specifics needed in the reference letter? So that is all in our certification guide as well. Just, basically what we're looking for is your role, a little bit description of your role, how long you've been with the company, whether or not you've had, promotions in the last little while, and your duties, a little bit of explanation on your duties. So I'm not going to go through, this is another question, how many credits are assigned for diploma in occupational health and safety. You will have to go through the guide and submit an application. We don't count your credits before an application is submitted. So I'll ask you to please refer to our certification guide for some more breakdown there. Okay. How much do we have to pay per year to maintain GSI until we receive? So you do not have to pay per year. The GSI is $125. It's a one-time fee, and it can, you have up to 5 years to meet the requirements. So you do not have to pay year after year. One question here is relating to being promoted to VP this year, but was a superintendent for residential high-rise condos for 10 plus years and an assistant. So this is something that we can talk about maybe offline. You can either email us and we can discuss it. Since there's a lot of people that run companies now, and usually with letter of references, I see your second question is about the letter of reference. If you can get a letter of reference from a current client, that's what we look for, that's acceptable. But it also depends on whether or not you're still in the superintendent role. So if you're performing superintendent duties daily, but you are the VP, that would be acceptable. But we do have to talk about the specifics of your role. So if you could contact us, we could go through that with you. Are there sample tests available? Yes, so on our website on the Gold Seal exam page where I brought you earlier for the occupational profiles, there's a section just below those profiles and it's all sample questions. So depending on the designation, you click on those and it actually brings you to the sample questions as it would look like in the exam. So it gives you an idea of what the exam platform is like, and it also gives you an idea of how the exam questions are worded. And then just a note for everybody, there's only 20 questions because they're samples. So we don't provide, an 100 question sample test, that kind of thing. So they are just sample questions to give you an idea. Okay. One other question is related to what I just went over earlier is if you own your own project management company, what happens with the letter of reference? Go for a current client or a recent client that you've worked with and ask them to do a letter of reference for you. Next question, does the application page or process have a specific place to enter the experience and certificates, or should this be submitted as a separate document? So yes, the application itself has sections for each year of experience up to 7 years. We can only put up to 7 years because of the allotted number of fields that we could have for that form. But if you do have over 8 years experience, you can definitely add it in as a PDF, as an attachment. That's no problem at all. But there are fields for every single year. What is the situation for international graduate engineers but member as EIT in British Columbia? So I'm not too, I'm assuming that the question is, what do you do if you have, if you're an international graduate? Just as long as you have your 1 year experience in Canada, or if you're applying as a GSC, again, 3 years experience in Canada. If it's related to your actual education, there is a section in our Gold Seal certification guide where you can click on a link for the Canadian equivalency. So you do have to submit your education, your international education through that association, and they'll be able to provide you with a Canadian equivalency, and then you'll be able to give that information to us when you apply. One question is about being laid off. So you do have to be currently working to apply as a Gold Seal certified. So make sure that you indicate that your current job. Otherwise, you cannot apply at this time. We are definitely fully aware of the COVID situation. However, we do need everyone to be currently employed to be considered for Gold Seal. Okay. One last question here is, could you please answer my first question about OHS program credits? Okay, so I did answer that question. I need you to go through the Gold Seal certification guide to calculate the credits. I'm not going to give credits over the webinar, and we do ask for an application to be submitted in order to calculate credits. So that's the process. Are there any other questions at all? Okay. Oh, there's one that I just missed here. I have a master's degree in my designation as P.Eng. Should I need any other courses to meet the requirements? Yes, you do. So just submitting your P.Eng does not qualify, and actually, your P.Eng is not a qualification. It won't give you any credits either. So that's just not something that's part of this program. So you do need to follow the requirements that are outlined in the Gold Seal certification guide, and make sure that you are submitting the required documents and types of courses. All right. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. And for those that have more questions, you can definitely send us an email. We'll be happy to help you out anytime. And definitely take a look at our website for more information. And we hope to see your names in some applications very soon. Once again, thank you. My name is Chanel, and I will wish you a very good day and happy holidays to those that celebrate, and take care.